Did Liverpool just hit their breaking point and nobody's talking about it? Because what's happening behind the scenes could be far bigger than just a few bad results. From players losing confidence to the entire system cracking under pressure, this season's messes might reveal a truth fans never saw coming. And while Haaland is shutting down the Messi Ronaldo noise, the real story is unfolding where no one expects it. So what exactly sparked this chaos and who's really to blame? Stay with me, because the answer will shock you. We'll explain everything in this video, step by step, don't skip it. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle in, because the football world is spinning faster than a winger on turbo mode. What a week, what a story, and what a mess. One Premier League giant suddenly finds itself in. Over at Anfield, the alarms are ringing so loud you can almost hear them from space because Liverpool fans are crying out, we're letting Arne Slot down. Yes, the new man in charge is trying to steer the ship, but right now the season's been wobblier than a centre-back trying to dribble past Haaland. The players look frustrated, the fans look heartbroken, and Slot's probably staring at the tactics board like it's a Sudoku puzzle from another galaxy. The pressure? Absolutely sky high. The drama? Bigger than a Champions League night, and every match feels like a season-defining moment. This is football chaos at its most electrifying, passion, panic and hope all colliding in a single 90 minutes. But wait, zoom over to Manchester, because while the blue side of the city is firing on all cylinders, their Nordic goal machine has stepped up with something unexpected. Calmness. Erling Haaland, the man who scores goals like it's a breathing exercise, has officially brushed off the endless Messi versus Ronaldo debates. No drama, no controversy, just a striker saying, relax, I'm here to play football, not history teacher. In a world obsessed with GOAT discussions, Haaland's message is crystal clear. Focus on the present, win the games, score the goals, lift the trophies. Simple, sharp, ruthless, just like a near post finish from the big number 9. So on one side, a season slipping into chaos. On the other, a superstar refusing to get dragged into football's eternal argument. And between them, the beautiful game delivering more twists than a last-minute counter-attack. Stay tuned, stay ready, because if this season has taught us anything, it's that anything can happen, and usually does. The feeling inside Liverpool's camp that they're letting Arne Slot down has grown into more than just a passing concern. It has become a weight pressing on the shoulders of players, staff, and supporters who hope for a smoother transition into a new era. When Slot arrived, he brought with him a reputation for tactical intelligence, player development, and a calm command of the dressing room. Expectations weren't just high, they were fueled by the belief that he could blend modern ideas with Liverpool's iconic intensity. Yet as the season unfolded, the squad has often looked disconnected, as if the pieces haven't quite clicked into place. This sense of underachievement isn't born from criticism alone, it's born from the knowledge that the players themselves believe they are capable of more, but repeatedly fall short of delivering the consistency Slot's system demands. Inside Melwood and during matches, the frustration has been visible. Passes that should be routine have felt forced. Defensive transitions that used to be instinctive now appear half a second slow. Players who once thrived under pressure occasionally seemed unsure, caught between old habits and new tactical instructions. It's not a lack of effort. If anything, the effort is there in abundance, but the execution is mismatched, like a team learning a new rhythm without fully mastering the tempo. Slot's philosophy emphasises structured build-up, fluid rotations and coordinated pressing, but too often this season Liverpool have struggled to execute all three simultaneously. The players' recognition of these shortcomings amplifies the emotional burden, contributing to the feeling that they are not giving their manager what he deserves. The fans sense it as well. They've watched a team known for its identity, its spark and its relentless belief drift into moments of confusion. Supporters aren't angry at Slot. In fact, many admire his composure and his commitment to sticking to his principles despite the turbulence. Instead, the belief growing among the faithful is that the squad hasn't fully adapted to his demands, whether due to injuries, confidence issues, or the natural growing pains of a new tactical system. Every miscommunication on the pitch, every defensive lapse, every missed chance feels like another moment where the team comes up short in supporting the man tasked with leading them forward. Even in training sessions, where Slot remains focused and meticulous, there's a collective awareness that the players want to repay his trust. Many of them have expressed admiration for his ideas and leadership behind closed doors, but admiration alone isn't enough to secure results. And results are ultimately what determine whether a manager thrives or struggles in the Premier League. The gap between intention and performance has created psychological tension within the group. They know Slot's vision is workable, they know the structure is sound, they know improvement is possible, but knowing and delivering are two different things, and bridging that gap has become one of the team's greatest challenges so far this season. The sense that they are letting him down grows each week. They fail to translate preparation into points on the board. The description of Liverpool's season as a mess reflects not just a single moment of failure, but an accumulation of issues that have tangled together into a complicated and frustrating narrative. It's the kind of mess that doesn't come from one bad game, but from a series of stumbles, miscommunications, and unexpected drops in form that snowball into something much larger than anyone anticipated. Week after week, the team has found itself caught in the whirlwind of inconsistency, one match offering hope, the next raising even more questions. This back and forth rhythm has left the squad searching for identity, rhythm and confidence, all while the spotlight grows brighter and the pressure heavier. The Premier League is unforgiving, and when things unravel, they unravel quickly, leaving little time to breathe or reset before the next challenge arrives. This mess hasn't been purely tactical or physical, it's also emotional. The frustration within the camp is tangible. Players who were once reliable anchors have experienced dips in performance, while new arrivals adjusting to Slot's philosophy have struggled to find their place in the complex system. Injuries have disrupted momentum and forced Slot to rotate more than he would like, preventing the establishment of a stable spine. Meanwhile, the chemistry that usually defines Liverpool's play, fast transitions, intelligent pressing, unselfish movements, has often broken down in ways that feel uncharacteristic of a club known for cohesion. The disjointedness becomes visible in crucial moments, a loose touch that sparks a counter-attack, a mismarking assignment, a build-up phase that stalls because passing lanes aren't aligned. These moments add up, creating a sense that the team is constantly one mistake away from panic. Off the pitch, the narrative hasn't been any kinder. Media scrutiny is intensified with each setback, amplifying the idea that the season is spiralling rather than stabilising. Every match feels like a referendum on Slot's leadership, the squad's mentality, and the club's future direction. Even when performances show glimpses of promise, the overarching storyline shapes the public perception, a talented team trapped inside a cycle of its own errors. The word mess captures not just the tactical problems, but the overall aura surrounding the campaign, a season where nothing has come easily, where progress is erased by setbacks just as it seems within reach. Complicating the situation further is the weight of expectations. Liverpool are not a mid-table experiment, they are a global giant with ambitions stretching beyond domestic competitions. When such a club experiences turbulence, the stakes are far higher. Fans expect resilience, identity and results. And when those expectations aren't met, emotional reactions intensify. The supporters themselves feel caught in the mix, disappointed but determined, frustrated but loyal. The confusion of wanting to back the team while wrestling with the reality of performances shapes the atmosphere around matches. That atmosphere, in turn, affects the players, creating a feedback loop where pressure compounds rather than motivates. The word mess may sound harsh, but it reflects an honest snapshot of a season in which clarity has been hard to find and stability has remained just out of reach. The pressure mounting on the squad to turn things around has reached a level that can be felt in every match, training session and media appearance. It's the type of pressure that doesn't just sit on the shoulders, it weighs down the entire environment, shaping how the players move, think and even speak. Each game has begun to feel like a test of character as much as a test of tactics. The expectation to respond, to rise and to deliver has intensified because the team knows that the longer the struggles continue, the more difficult the climb back becomes. Every mistake feels magnified, every mischance feels symbolic, and every drop point feels like an opportunity slipping through their fingers. This creates an atmosphere where even the simplest actions start to feel like high-stakes decisions, simply because the team understands the consequences of falling behind further. The players are fully aware that the Premier League doesn't allow long periods of trial and error. There are no breaks, no soft weeks, no gentle opponents waiting to offer comfort. It's relentless, and when a team falls out of rhythm, the schedule keeps pushing forward without mercy. This constant pressure has forced the squad into a situation where they must balance the need for composure with the urgency of results. Slot's system requires trust, patience and precision, but the emotional weight of the current situation makes patience harder to maintain. The team wants immediate results. The fans want immediate improvement, and the manager wants a stable foundation to build upon. Balancing those needs while battling confidence issues is one of the most difficult tasks any team can face, especially one accustomed to high standards. Internally, the players feel the demand to show leadership, unity and resilience. Senior members of the squad know their voices matter, and they've been pushing to keep the dressing room aligned behind Slot's vision. Younger players, meanwhile, feel the pressure to step up in ways they may not have been asked to before. Every training session carries an intensity fueled by the urgency to correct mistakes and prove that the team can regain its competitive edge. The desire to improve is evident, but improvement under pressure is always more challenging than improvement in calm conditions. The emotional strain can influence decision-making, reactions on the pitch and how players interpret the challenges in front of them. Externally, the pressure from fans and media has added another layer to the situation. Supporters expect improvement. They expect a response that reflects the values of the club. This expectation isn't rooted in patience, but in belief. Belief that the team is capable of more. Belief that the level shown so far isn't reflective of the squad's true potential. And belief that they can still salvage something meaningful from the campaign. As these expectations accumulate, the players feel a collective responsibility to deliver something that reignites hope. It creates a sense that every match is now an opportunity to shift momentum, restore confidence, and prove that the team is still capable of rising above adversity. Erling Haaland dismissing the Messi Ronaldo comparison talk has become one of the more refreshing storylines in modern football, especially in a sporting era where every rising star gets instantly measured against two of the greatest players in history. Haaland's approach shows a level of self-awareness and composure that contrasts sharply with the constant noise surrounding him. While fans, pundits and commentators continue to debate which path he might follow, he remains grounded in his belief that such conversations distract from what truly matters: performing on the pitch, contributing to his team, and growing his game step by step. Instead of leaning into the spotlight or entertaining a narrative that could inflate expectations even further, Haaland chooses to keep his focus locked on his present mission, avoiding comparisons that he feels serve no real purpose for his development or his mindset. His dismissal of the GOAT debate isn't rooted in arrogance but in humility. He recognises that Messi and Ronaldo built their legacies over more than a decade of relentless excellence, an achievement that cannot simply be replicated by momentary hype or impressive goal-scoring runs. Haaland understands that the foundations of greatness come from consistency, work ethic and mental durability rather than internet arguments. By downplaying the comparisons, he removes an unnecessary burden from his shoulders and keeps his priorities aligned with what he can actually control. This attitude also reflects a maturity that goes beyond his age. Many young players might feel tempted to embrace the comparisons, enjoy the praise, or even use it as motivation, but Haaland chooses to anchor himself in reality rather than ride the wave of external judgment. His viewpoint also sends a message to the football world about respecting eras and achievements. Messi and Ronaldo didn't just dominate, they redefined what was possible. Haaland seems to understand that chasing someone else's legacy is far less valuable than building your own. His calmness in addressing the topic helps temper the wild expectations that often surround top talents, and it reminds observers that development is a process, not a race. It also shifts the narrative away from individual comparisons and back toward team performance. Haaland knows that his success is tied to how well Manchester City performs, how effectively he integrates into tactical systems, and how consistently he improves his movement, decision-making, and overall contribution. In addition, dismissing the comparisons helps maintain harmony both in the dressing room and in the public eye. It prevents unnecessary egotistical narratives from forming and allows him to stay aligned with Guardiola's philosophy, which emphasises collective effort over individual glory. Haaland's stance also suggests a deep confidence. He doesn't need to insert himself into the GOAT debate to validate his abilities. He shows faith in his trajectory, trusting that his achievements will speak for themselves as his career progresses. By redirecting attention away from a discussion he finds irrelevant, Haaland demonstrates a clarity that many players older than him still struggle to maintain. The focus shifting to present performance over GOAT debates has signalled a meaningful change in how the conversation around football's biggest stars is evolving. For years, discussions about Messi and Ronaldo dominated every corner of the sport, shaping public opinion, fan arguments, and even how young players viewed their own potential. But as the landscape shifts and new talents emerge, there is a growing recognition that constantly measuring current players against two historic giants can overshadow the importance of what is happening right now on the pitch. The obsession with legacy talk has often created unnecessary pressure, distorting expectations and reducing the appreciation of players' unique qualities. By redirecting attention toward present performance, the narrative becomes more grounded in actual contributions, current form, and the realities of a dynamic football environment rather than theoretical comparisons. This shift also reflects a broader maturity within the game. Players, coaches, and analysts increasingly understand that excellence must be evaluated in context. Football evolves every season with new tactics, new opponents, and new demands. Comparing today's performances to two careers that spanned over a decade of extreme dominance doesn't account for the constant changes in the sport. Emphasising current form helps fans appreciate the nuances of what modern players bring: the pressing intensity, the positional fluidity, the athletic adaptations, and the mental toughness required to succeed in high-pressure environments. It also encourages spectators to judge footballers based on what they contribute to their teams in real time, rather than whether they are living up to a standard set by past legends. For players like Haaland, Mbappe, Vinicius Junior and others, having the narrative shift toward performance rather than comparison opens the space for them to carve out individual identities. They no longer have to chase someone else's shadow or fit into a predetermined mould of greatness. Instead, they can focus on winning matches, improving aspects of their game, and delivering for their clubs and countries. This focus helps maintain clarity and consistency, allowing them to develop without carrying the burden of unrealistic expectations. It also supports better mental well-being, as constant comparisons, especially to two of the greatest players of all time, can create a sense of inadequacy no matter how well they perform. This approach brings the attention back to what football is fundamentally about: the joy, competition, and unpredictability of the present moment. Fans get to enjoy incredible goals, dramatic comebacks, tactical battles, and individual brilliance without filtering everything through a historical lens. When the spotlight shifts to the now, every match becomes meaningful in its own right, not merely a footnote in an endless debate about legacy. Analysts can break down current strengths and weaknesses with more objectivity, and coaches can guide players without the additional noise of comparison culture influencing their decisions. Ultimately, placing value on present performance restores balance to the conversation around modern football. It respects the greatness of Messi and Ronaldo while allowing new stars to be judged on their own terms, in their own era, for their own achievements. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.